Before you even think about starting a business, you need to make sure that you have these 7 skills. My name is Cort Brady. I've built multiple companies over the last 10 years that now provide over $1 million a year in passive income. Many people have done this through real estate or through investing, and I've chosen to do it through starting and scaling multiple businesses. My mission is to help leaders create high-performing teams so that they can work on their business instead of in it. Before you even think about starting a business, these are the 7 skills that you must have or develop to be successful. Skill 1 comes from the book Radical Candor by Ken Scott, and she talks about the ability to care deeply and challenge directly. The reason this is important is because lots of entrepreneurs get into business because they enjoy people and like people. What I needed on my side was this ability to challenge directly. I was having a conversation with one of my mentors who's built multiple 8-figure companies. So this is when we had just barely crossed the $1 million threshold. And I said, what do I need to do to go from a $1 million CEO to a $10 million CEO? And his advice to me is he said, Cort, I don't think that your words are sharp enough. When you're giving feedback to your people, you're using a baseball bat instead of a samurai sword. And you have to be able to cut your people down precisely so they know exactly what your expectations are and how they can improve. So couple that type of challenging directly with caring deeply. Skill number 2 is why you don't have to have a degree in accounting by any means. I, in fact, dropped out before finishing my last 2 semesters of college. You need to have a basic understanding of how a profit and loss statement and a cash flow statement work. If you don't understand how cash comes into the business, what expenses you have to pull that cash back out, and what your profit is at the end of the day, then it's going to be very difficult for you to scale beyond just a 1-person team of yourself managing a bank account. You're gonna have to manage spreadsheets, or you're gonna have to figure it out in QuickBooks. Skill number 3 is being fungible. I had the privilege to be on a Zoom call with the founder of HubSpot, their multi-million-dollar CRM, and he talked about what was most important in a founder of the company. And he said, you don't want to find the highest paid attorney who's the leading expert in oceanic law. Like, that's not gonna help your business. You have to find people that are fungible, which means that they can interchange from task to task and still be an expert at those tasks. So find the generalist rather than finding the very best at just one single thing. Skill number 4 is mental gumption. I had this idea that I'd start my company, and within 6 months we'd be doing $250,000 in profit each month. And the very first year we did $3,185 of revenue. No profit, no distributions, nothing else. And my business partner at the time said, you should go back to your prior job. You're making obviously more than nothing, because we had lost a ton of money that year, and he was out. And at that point, I was a 26-year-old who had no idea what he was doing, and either had to go back to what I was previously doing, or I had to continue to figure it out. And I continued to figure it out, and things started to fall into place. But the difference between success and failure is often that ability to just get up one more time than the next guy. So mental gumption is extremely important. Number 5 is going to sound funny, but it's the ability to be lonely. We see a world where you're constantly getting likes on social media, you're surrounded by people. If you're going to be an entrepreneur, you're going to be different. You're going to have to think different, and you're going to have to be alone, because at the end of the day, none of your employees are going to care about your business the way you do. None of your customers are going to care about your business the way that you do. And no one is going to be able to solve these problems that are seemingly impossible except for you. And loneliness becomes this real thing. And so the solution is to increase your emotional stability, and second, surround yourself by other entrepreneurs who are also experiencing the same things that you are, so that you can commiserate with them. And that helps take away the loneliness. Skill number 6. This is the most important skill, which is the ability to sell. The number 1 reason that businesses go out of business is because they run out of money. It's because they can't sell. They either can't sell their story to an investor to give them more money, or they can't sell their product to a customer who's going to give them money. It's not enough to just be this creative to say, I'm going to go create something awesome and people are going to buy it. You can be the most creative person in the world and have the coolest product or service in the world, but if you can't actually sell it to people, then you're going to go out of business. Like, you'll never launch, you'll never get off the ground. One of the counters I often hear to that is, Apple doesn't have salespeople. You go into the store and no one is selling to you. Think about how much money they're spending on marketing and branding, and what they had to do in the early days. Steve Jobs and Steve Wozniak had to sell their idea to investors to actually get the start in the first place. So don't fool yourself by thinking that these massively successful companies that are where they're at now didn't have to sell. And number 7 is the most paramount. If you want your company to grow above $1 million, you can get there by yourself. But if you want to have a massively successful company that's providing millions of dollars of passive income to you yearly, then it has to be through a team of people that are more capable than you, better at sales, better at finance, better at product and software development than you are. And if you can do that and align those people around your vision, then you can create success in their life and massive amounts of success in your life. That brings me back to my mission, which is to create high-performing teams. This channel is all about empowering you to empower your team so that you can work on your business instead of in it. If this resonated with you, hit that like and subscribe button, and I'll push out additional content helping you build the most powerful teams in your organization.